never seen a smile so big on my little old lady's face until I tell her I'm going fishing all weekend. Pack up all of my baby, I make plans for 7:45, and I swing around, pick up my date for the weekend. Some reason she seems to please when I'm leaving. There's something I'm missing when I'm gone fishing. When I'm gone fishing. When I'm gone fishing.
Yeah, baby.
Yes, sir. Right you are, Jeremy. 6 days till Peterborough. Can't friggin' wait. And I'll tell you, the lads are going to be on later on. Hopefully, we're going to have them all. We're going to have Shawn, Mark, Kyle, and Moose. So stay tuned to that. That'll be at the end of the show. I'll tell you, hello and happy Monday. And it's happy in the sense that our weather is definitely taking a turn for the better. If you are into spring and the softwater season, you are getting really excited. I watched a video from our buddy down in Windsor, AA, Aham, and he was out at the pier. I think it was LaSalle Park, and they were they couldn't wait. They were busting the ice with bricks and just to get fishing. I'll tell you, that is perseverance and dedication right there. Tricia, how you doing tonight? Steve Shaw, again, hats off to you, my friend. All of the incredible edits that you have been doing and are in the process of doing. I'm sure he's doing edits as we speak. Our community truly appreciates it, my friend. We can't thank you enough for your dedication and sacrifice of time putting those all together. And of course, Walter as well. I tell you, it's incredible to be a part of such a great team. All of our legacy members, and we're so proud of this community and all the efforts of all of you. Scott Stewart, all the way out in BC. How you doing? Lloyd's with us. Brad's in the house. Richard Dunlop, yeah. Chris McCoy, how are you doing? Nice to see you again tonight. Chris Hill's with us. As we mentioned, there is the show that's upcoming in Peterborough, as well as the Toronto Sportsman Show. Hopefully, we'll get some updates about both those shows. But I know we're going to get a big one about the Peterborough show. But there are a few things that I have to get to. One of which, of course, is a contest that's going on right now. The Wolf Pack, or the Wolf Den, Barry and Sally, have a contest going right now for one of their back road adventure jersey. And basically what you have to do, well, you know what? Let's just play the video and it'll explain everything.
G'day, folks. Barry and Sal here at Graceland. This little video is for a giveaway we have for our
Backroad Adventures jersey. Whoever gets the closest without going over the number of pictures, CFN pictures, that we have on our walls in our home.
Here in Graceland.
Yeah, anyways, good luck everybody.
Yeah.
And put your number in there and see if you can win one of our Backroad Adventures jerseys. You'll love them. They're made by Fish Whipped Apparel and they're just beautiful. Yeah.
Awesome.
So it is the pin post. Go to CFN. It probably will be right above this video that you're watching. Make sure you put in a guess. Barry wanted me to say that no one's close right now. Now, I'm hoping that has changed since I last talked to Barry, but he said no one was close. So having said that, let's make some more guesses. I know Barry and Sally are going to be keeping a watchful eye on it, and hopefully you are able to guess. Multiple guesses. Doesn't matter. You can guess as many times as you want. So that's that contest that's going on. And of course, we have some really cool news that's in the works that I want to share. But first, of course, if you are looking to go somewhere that is phenomenal fishery. You could potentially catch a personal best, but I guarantee you're going to put on a few pounds. It is the CFN retreat at Horwood Lake Lodge. We are just over halfway when it comes to occupancy. So, folks, do not delay. This is a highlight of everybody's summer, especially our CFN community. We can't wait to get up there. And let me just play this video and explain why.
Are you ready?
Beautiful. Holy smokes. So that was a Walleye Wednesday promo that we did last Wednesday for Horwood Lake and our CFN retreat. As I said, go to the website, call Doris and Warren. They have but one question. Hopefully you're ready, because I know I am. With everything that's going on in the world, I can't wait to get away. So Horwood Lake Lodge, the date is, I believe, August 14th to the 20th. It's going to be a heck of a time. It always is, and we usually eat ourselves at a house and home. So I'd love to see you there. Love to have all of you there. But we also have the Jan Lake Lodge retreat, CFN retreat out in Saskatchewan. I'm pretty sure that first cabin that was set aside for us is already booked. I still think there's occupancy available there as well. So if you're interested, call Jan Lake Lodge and get your arse booked in there, or Walter. Either one, it doesn't matter. That's going to be, I wish I could go. I know there's some CFNers from around here that are going to be going to that. But I can't wait to see some of the pictures. I think it's going to be an awesome event. And last but not least, it is in the works. There is a CFN retreat in the works for September, and it is going to be at Camp McIntosh. And let me just play this in the background, so you can you can see for yourself the beauty of Georgian Bay, right at the mouth of the French River, where it leaks into Georgian Bay. As I said, the scenery is epic. The fishing is fantastic. And Tracy wanted me to pass on some details. As it is right now, it is going to be, I believe, the third weekend in September that we have pegged. We will be making a post to clear things up, but it'll be $370 per person for 2 nights. They have 6 cabins. They have 26 available bunks. So we'd love to see 26. And as I said, I've spoke to Moose about this. We might make this an OFC Nation event, but we got to get Jeff on board and a few other details and just make sure our schedules line up. But I guarantee you, Mike Consul and I will be there for sure. So we will get those dates for you. But if you want to see a picturesque and beautiful Georgian Bay, this is just the boat ride in, and it is worth the price of admission. You'll see how close Andre gets to the rocks. It's beautiful, and the fishing is fantastic, especially in September. We're hoping that the walleye will be in at the time that we're there, so we won't have to just eat pike like we did last year. Hopefully, we'll get a few walleye in our bellies as well. But I want to say it's called the American Plan, but I would rather call it the OFC Nation Plan. But all of the food is provided. Your bait, your tackle, all that kind of stuff is included in your stay as well. And as I said, for $370 for 2 nights per person, it's a good deal. But again, we'll have more information that we'll get that to you. But we are planning I think it's the 3rd weekend in September is the tentative date right now, but we will get more information as we go forward. Now, this weekend, I was busy putting together all of our Winter Fish Fest prizes. So for all of you who won your overall species, as well as our random winners, these are some of the prizes that you're going to be seeing in the coming days. And of course, tomorrow night, Mike and I will be drawing for the Grand Prize Junior Award. As you can see, some great sponsors, very generous sponsors, the North Shore Dynamite, Ugly Boys Baits, Browns Angling, and as I said, there's a lot of stuff there, and we are so thankful for whoever wins this from our junior division as well as the senior division. Another great prize pack, some glorious stuff in here. And as I said, it's stuff you use. It's stuff you will use. It's not just filler. You're going to use all of this, no matter what species you're targeting. This is something that you are definitely going to want in on. So we will be making that announcement tomorrow on Tourney Tuesdays, Mike and I. And Mike would be very upset if I didn't play this promo. Also, thanks to everyone who ordered one of these and is sharing it on Facebook. You'll understand the quality once you see it. It's a beautiful. We've never had CFN Fish Off swag, so we're really happy about this. And again, the promo that Mike wanted me to play was the Fish Off for 2022. Here it goes.
Welcome to the CFN Fish Off Season 3.
What's going on, everybody?
It's a big one too, eh?
It's a CFN grind.
We are pumped!
Woo! Nice!
This year, we got 3 teams representing 4 provinces.
And don't forget, Mike, 1 territory.
I survived the CFN Fish Off.
Real life, man.
The goal of the CFN Fish Off is to catch as many species of fish as possible.
The biggest fish in each species gets 4 points.
Yay! The smallest fish in each species gets 1 point.
Sweet. I didn't expect to get one.
I think it's time we take the lead today, Mark.
And the team with the most points after the competition
will be crowned the CFN Fish Off champion.
Team G Loomis.
Team Jocko.
Team Power Pro.
It's a grind, CFN.
Been a bit of a long day.
And on behalf of McCarthy's Uniforms, the winning team gets to donate
$10,000 to the charity of their choice.
Wish everybody the best of luck.
Now, Mike, let's check out some CFN Fish Off action.
So can't wait for that. That will be appearing very soon on WFN and the Sportsman channel. And in case you didn't know, our main sponsor, Shimano, has signed on again with us. And we are so thankful this coming year as well for our spring tournament. So without further ado, let's bring in the big man. But we can't start without basically his calling and anthem. Have a listen. Jimbo slicing everything nice. How you doing tonight, Jim?
I'm all jacked up now. I don't know what that is. You know what? It's the music.
I think it's a combination of a lot of things, but you're 100% right, dude. I tell you, with the weather, with the way the weather is out right now, and what it is anticipating to be later on this week, we've got the 2 shows coming up. I want to say, if you don't have the itch, you just don't fish, because I know I do. We have a special surprise from the riverbank of the Thames River. Jason Barnucz will be doing his segment, and this will get everybody tingling. He's actually going after walleye.
Oh yeah, because season's still open.
Yeah. So looking forward to that, but also looking forward to the upcoming shows. Toronto Sportsman Show starts this Thursday, Jim. And what do you think we've got in store for that show?
Well, I think it'd be pretty good. I just got this here over here, and I just printed it off. Like I ran in the door, like I told you. I still have my jacket on.
Oh, lovely.
This is like 15 years old.
Are you serious?
And it gets washed. Look, the sleeves aren't tattered.
Wow.
And of course, I look so good, so it makes it look better, But
we're not working.
I'm not drinking again. It's okay. But no, it's funny. Yeah, no, it's really good. It's like this. This is the first major show in a couple of years out here. Excuse me.
Bless you.
So that's really good. There's over 200 exhibitors, hunting, fishing, camping, power sports, all kinds of stuff. So it's not as big as it was, but it's still going to be really, really big. Next year is the year you'll see it all come back, and I'm assuming anyway.
Yeah. Well, we listen.
One thing they've mentioned to me, because there's obviously going to be monster crowds.
Yeah.
It's all there is to it, because people have been locked up, haven't had things to do. So there's a big suggestion that they want you to buy your tickets online. So you've got them when you get there, so you don't have to stand in a line up in the parking lot. And that's,
good idea.
That's thinking, yeah.
That's thinking outside the box.
In fact, I got a couple of tickets for you to give away tonight. You can do whatever you want, okay? Just do whatever you want, and I just need a name, and they will pick their tickets up at the Will Call booth at the show.
Okay. Well, we'll do that at the end.
Yep.
We'll do it at the end of your segment. How's that?
Yeah, no, you do whatever you want, buddy. Yeah. It's all good, yeah.
I got an idea for it.
Yep, show's only 4 days this year. It's $20 for adults, $15 for seniors. I might get in. I got to pass, though. 13 for juniors and under 12. It's free. Thursdays 10 to 7, Fridays 10 to 7, Saturdays 9 to 7, and Sunday is 10 to 5.
Right on.
So they've got a really good hand. There's all kinds of prize packages here. They're showing here. There's all kinds of air guns, adventure prize packs. Then we've got the fish seminar stage where I am with the guys from Fish TV there, Leo and Ron and Jeff, and that's all done once again by the Toyota Dealers Association of Ontario. So that's really good. They've supported that for so long, like a long time, right? And they got a really good lineup of guys there. But over on the Great Outdoor Stage in Hall 1, and this is all hosted by Amanda Lynn Mayhew. I think she refers to herself as the hunting chick, but I look forward to seeing her. I haven't seen her for a long time. And they've got all kinds of stuff on there too. They've got survival tips, boating safety. Salmon, we got Captain Greg there, Emil. He's going to be out there doing his thing. Turkey hunters, they've got a casting pond for the kids in Hall 2. Well, I guess it's not just the kids. I guess anybody who wants to do it can do it.
I was going to say, Ed is asking about the trout pond. Is there going to be a trout pond this year?
Let me see. I just got this and just printed it. I don't see a trout pond mentioned here.
Okay.
But doesn't mean it's not there. Oh, yeah, right here. In the Fish TV zone will also feature a kids zone, trout pond, live entertainment, and giveaways.
Nice.
So, yes, sir. Yeah, you can't fish there, Ed. It's for kids.
Well, I'll tell you, Jim, I'm living vicariously through the Raytrowskis and our buddy Jay Barnucz as I'm watching in the lobby here, them fishing, as I said, the banks of the Thames. But with everything that's going on weather-wise, this is the season of the spawn. and you're starting to see suckers run up some of the rivers. But really, at the end of the day, everybody's starting to put away maybe some of their hard water gear and getting ready for spring, because it's just around the corner. Like it's just a matter of time.
There's no event. I remember years ago doing the thing when you hear about, you said you were going to them live. I did a thing with CTV News in Ottawa, and it was just before muskie season, and they thought it would be cool to have somebody come on and talk about what you really needed to fish for muskies. So we do a thing from the bank of the Rideau River.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about the rods and the reels and all the stuff and everything else, and showed the stuff it you need something. Even musky guys now, there's different rods for everything. It's one, like it used to be, you got a 5-foot rod that was so stiff you could lift a cinder block and it wouldn't bend. Now we've really learned the difference. In fact, that's one of the things I'm doing in my presentations at the Sportsman Show, is I talk about longer rods and their effects and why you catch more fish with a flexible rod as opposed to a stiff one. Now, obviously, if you're going to fish in some, grass mats and things for largemouths, and having a stiffer rod, you got to have it to yank them out, or you don't get them.
Yeah.
But so anyways, I'm doing this thing from the shore, and I did it with what's the girl's name now? She's a big time country singer now from down east in Canada. But I'm out there, and we take it, and she says to me, "How far can you cast a big lure like that?" And I didn't have a really big lure on. I had a bucktail. It was probably about 10 inches long, maybe. And I says, "Well, this isn't particularly heavy." And then I'm always trying to give a little something. And I said, "But one of the secrets is," and I dip the hair in the water, and I say, "You got to get it wet, because if there's some water on it, it adds a lot of weight to cast it." And she says, "Well, show me how you do it." So I cast it out, and I catch a 46-inch muskie.
Come on. Wow.
Live doing the news.
Mic drop. Wow.
Live doing the news. And it jumped. It was all over the place. And it blew it off the top. I was talking about waking it back early in the year, bringing it, as soon as the season opens in June. And I was bringing it back about this far underneath the surface, and you could see the gurgle of it on the top, and it just blew it off the top. She screamed when that happened, and I got phone calls, because we had no phones in your pocket back then or anything,
Yeah.
I got phone calls for like a week after that, nonstop. I said, how did you fix that to be like?
I wonder, do you think we could dig that video up, Jim?
I could try to find it.
I'd love to see that on cue. That would be awesome.
And then, I was when I was talking to you today there earlier, I found a really cool picture today, and this is the first time I ever met Scotty Martin at the sports. Here's a picture of us here.
And just in case anybody doesn't know, I'm the one on the left.
Yes, I got to meet Pokeroo.
Oh,
I showed that to my kids when they were little, and it was the end of the world.
Well,
we had to bring the film down and get it printed.
Yeah.
And we showed it to the kids, and we had to go back and get 5 copies made type thing. It was just amazing.
Well, hey, Pokeroo is a Canadian icon. For all of us who are a little older, like that we grew up watching him. So
yeah.
I can
imagine. They
imagine
had that guy at the Sportsman Show, and he'd take that suit off in the back, and his clothes would be wet.
I can imagine. Yeah.
I don't know how he did it. The sweat.
I can imagine. Yeah.
So the major point of my deal at the Sportsman Show, my presentation here, is something that you know all about, buddy. It's going to be all about this.
Oh, the Tokyo rig. Yes.
That's going to be the major thing. I'm going to talk to you. It's so funny because I'm doing the thing. I had Tammy here doing a PowerPoint thing. It took us like 3 hours to do it. And for some reason, when we put a PowerPoint thing together, we need a referee.
That's
and it was hilarious. If you could have filmed, you think the Muskie live from the bank was good? He was been here today.
Oh wow,
it was hilarious. And she says, "How long is this seminar?" I said, "They're only supposed to be 20 minutes, 25 at the most. Like they're Ron's usually standing there looking at you, going like this because they got something else coming up. It's all timed, eh?" She said, "You got enough stuff here for the hour and a half once you do." So we stopped the last 3 or 4 things we didn't add in.
That's hilarious. Oh, great point, Jeremy. I love it. honestly, you would be perfect for this. A reboot for the Friendly Giant, buddy. Jeremy, that's bang on.
Me looking out the window. Grab Jerome by the neck.
That's it.
Come here, you.
That's hilarious. So outside of
except for bait in the muskie season.
So outside of all the characters in your life that you're going to be talking about, and of course the Tokyo rig, what else have you got planned for anybody who's looking to go down? What else are you going to be discussing?
I'm going to talk about that, a bit of kids fishing stuff. I'm going to talk about longer rods. I've got a rod sitting over here just special to demonstrate why people get their line twisted. I had a guy call me the other night, sent me a message, said, "Hey Jim, can I phone your office and you'll be there sometime?" I said, "Well, yeah." I said, "If I bring the phone to bed at night, you'll get me in the morning." I was laughing at it. So, anyways, I'm out in the office here and he calls me, and we talked to him, and he's explaining to me once again about how he'll never buy a certain brand of line because it always twists. And I said to him, "Yeah, but line doesn't twist itself." I said, how many spools of line have you bought in your life? And he said, way too much. And I said, well, did you ever get a spool of line that was twisted? He said, I don't think so. And I said, well, then it would mean that you're the one that twisted it. So there's one thing, as I've talked about before, it's having the drag way too loose and turning the handle. And I've got a rod and reel rigged with that, with brand new line on there. Peter Cito there got me some of that nice Yozuri hybrid line.
Oh, yeah.
Last fall, I used that. I was pretty impressed with that line last fall. That's one thing I like about this. You get to try a whole bunch of different things. I get bits of this and a bit of that. And I'll try. And, I'll get 2 or 3 rods all the same.
Yeah.
And I'll load them up with different line.
Yeah.
And when I go out, whether it's down the back or wherever, I go out in the boat for the day, I'll bring, and guys say, how come you got 3 rods with the same lure on? That's why I want to see what the line does, how it fishes, how it feels. And it's amazing, though, but how good stuff is now compared to what it used to be.
100%. Now, Jim, I obviously you will see braid lose its color in the sunlight. It'll start to fade. Yeah. But really, how often should you be changing your braid?
Scotty, it depends how long you use it.
Okay. It's not something you would do every second year or something, would you?
Oh, I would be changing it better than that.
More than that? Okay.
Yeah. And it depends how much you're cutting off.
Yeah.
Yeah. It depends how much you're cutting off, especially with monofilament, especially because it gets a couple of nicks. I mean, I've seen Power Pro, the original green Power Pro moss green, that is so frayed that it looks like wool. Yeah. And you still can't break it.
Right.
Now, obviously, mean you should be using it when it looks like that.
Yeah, and I mean, I would imagine as a tournament angler, you're switching it far more often.
When I fished in tournaments, especially when Rocky and I were together, we were really, really serious. I mean, we won hundreds of thousands. We won close to, probably $750,000 between us. And
jeez,
we, I would change line every night. All our flipping rods every night in the hotel room. Yeah. You'd have 6 or 8 rods there. You'd lay them all in the bed, push all the free spools, and take all the line off. Just wrap it up, take it off, and you go back down to the same place and fill them up again. Like it took an hour or sometimes more every night out of your time. If you didn't use something, we were fishing a jig all day and I wasn't fishing a spinnerbait, but I made 20 or 30 casts with it. I'd cut off 10 or 15 feet and retie it. You would retie everything. In case it got nicked in the boat, you got a bunch of rods sitting together and the line, running up and down. And all it takes is a spinnerbait blade or the point of a hook from another rod, the hook to jab the line. Yeah. You throw out, your line breaks, and you realize maybe that cost you $50,000.
Yeah.
Like the second time I won the Canadian Championship, I won by 4 ounces.
Wow.
That's
unreal.
Yeah.
Well, Jim, as I said, our time flies with you. We'd love to spend another half hour, if not longer. But Jay has got himself a walleye in the net. He wants to show us. So
I'm out of here.
I just want to warn you. There's going to be a 4'11" woman that will track you down that will be holding a cake. Jeanette Benoit is going to be presenting you a cake while you're at the Sportsman Show. So
just what I need.
I just wanted to let you know.
Hey, when I get home on Sunday night after the Peterborough show,
Yeah.
I'm back in the gym religiously on Tuesday morning.
Attaboy.
Tammy and I had a chat about that today, and it's like I'm really scared to leave her alone because of what happened.
Yeah.
And that's a horrible thing to hear your wife ask for help on the phone and then the phone go dead.
Yeah.
That's not a fun thing. And I'm past that now. We're good. We're moving forward, and she's got an MRI coming up in a couple of weeks, and then hopefully they'll get a game plan on what they're going to do.
Right on.
So all good. I'll be back
before you leave. Just before you leave, too, here is the skill testing question to win 2 tickets, right? You said 2 tickets,
yep.
Sportsman's tickets, 2 Sportsman's show, and our thoughts are with Tammy as you are away. But it doesn't matter who it is, the first person to guess how old that G. Loomis hoodie is that Jim has, put it in the comments right now, and we will get you your tickets. Jim, as always, dude, thanks so much for spending time with us.
Hey, I look forward to seeing you on Saturday, buddy.
Likewise, dude.
Yeah, I'm on the tank or on the stage. I'm not going on the tank, I told you, because I don't want to pull a Homer Simpson. I'll be doing that, and when I leave there, I'll be heading right across to Peterborough. So I might drop in just to get the lay of the land, because I was in that building, I think, to a hockey game years ago with the boys from Shimano. Yeah. They used to have a box there.
Yeah.
But I got to find the hall in the back there, because it's that Morrow Hall that it's at.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and I got the beds changed from a queen to two beds.
Oh, this could get awkward. And
hey, that was a great line you sent back today when you said to me, but you don't mind sleeping on the floor.
I don't mind sleeping on the floor. I know my place. All right, God. Dude. And congratulations, Jeremy Blencow. You are the winner of the tickets to the Toronto Sportsman Show.
Okay, text me a name. They'll be at the Will Call Toronto show.
Fantastic, bud. You take care.
Yep. Okay, kiddies. Be good.
Let's bring on Jay. Jay, show us what you got, buddy. Oh, your mic is muted.
You know what? When the mask thing comes to an end, I hope they fix the microphones too, Scotty, because we're also used to the muted mics, right?
Yeah.
All right.
And Lawrence
Alicia Raytrowski.
Hi, Alicia.
Everyone knows this guy.
Trevor's in the house.
TJ is over there. And just for you, Scotty.
Yeah, baby.
Nice. Trevor's gonna hold it up. Trevor's gonna hold it up. Dude, this is old school. Look at that.
Wow.
Bertew Power Grub. Bertew Power Grub.
Buddy, I'm telling you, it's a newfound favorite. We had it at the CFN retreat last year.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, everybody put on twister tails, white twister tails, and it was lights out.
All right, here we go.
Yeah, baby.
There he is.
Beautiful. That's a gorgeous
All
fish.
All right, bud. Let her go. Let her go, bud.
All right. Here we go.
Here we go. Yeah, baby.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah, baby.
Yes, right. Sir. Yes, sir. That's fantastic, Jay. Well, listen, we'll come right back to you.
For sure.
We're going to bring up Lawrence first, and then we'll come back to you. So
all right, see you guys in a bit.
And we'll see you in a bit.
All right, sounds good.
Right on. And just before we bring up Lawrence, let us have a word from our sponsor.
When it comes to Canadian food, we've got your back with flavors like lemon pepper, beer batter, campfire barbecue, lemon pepper dill, garlic butter and chives, and crispy Cajun. We've got a mix for every meal. Whether you're serving East Coast shrimp, West Coast salmon, succulent walleye, chicken wings, or veggies, we've got you covered. Coat your food in outdoor flavors. Available online or at these fine retailers.
Oh, I tell you, living vicariously through Jay Barnucz.
That's fantastic. Eh? My blood's just rushing, to hear that splash, and oh my God, I want to be there. Open water, walleye.
I'm so with you, man. I'm so with you. Not to say that I don't like ice fishing. I do. I love to ice fish, but this winter has really socked it to us all over the country.
Yeah.
If you're up north, you're dealing with 8-9 foot drifts. If you're out in Saskatchewan, you can't even get on the lakes, from what Walter's telling us. because there's so much friggin' snow.
Yeah.
It's been one of those winters, and I'll be honest with you, I think all of us are looking forward to it being over.
Man, even my snowmobile was getting stuck.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
So, Lawrence, I was watching a documentary on the weekend, and it again, you've seen Seaspiracy.
Seaspiracy. Yeah, Seaspiracy.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You're seeing a lot of these documentaries pop up about unsustainable commercial fishing. I know we've talked about it at great length, but I think with all of it that's going on, you get a sense that we're powerless to do anything about it.
It's, you know what? It's in our choices. And if we eat fish that's caught or raised unsustainably, we're contributing to this, right? So there's good technologies out there like Seafood Watch and Ocean Wise, things that can give you real-time information about, should I be buying this fish off this menu? Should I be buying this fish at this grocery store? Is this caught sustainably? Is this something that, is not going to ruin the environment by my eating this fish? And this really gives us the power to make these choices. Now, yeah, there's seafood fraud. As much as 30% of seafood sold in fish markets and grocery stores is mislabeled. And trust me, this is never labeled so you're getting, a much better fish than you think you're getting. It's always a downgrade, right? So there's that. So you want to be able to trust your supplier for sure. I mean, most of the big grocery stores try to do a good job, but if you buy local fish and locally harvested fish, something and you can tell, and from a source you can trust, you're going to do well. The other thing you can do is stop eating the big predator type fish, right? We got to eat lower down on the food chain. Things like herring and mackerel that's caught sustainably. That's a big thing too. We want to always eat these giant, apex predator type fish. Even tuna can be, is if you eat too much of that too, you're going to have mercury issues in your system. But just eat lower down on the food chain. Eat the food that the big fish are eating. Share that with them, because those fish grow in the millions, right? So they're the ones we should be consuming.
Yeah, 100%. And it was frightening, of course, because they're talking to some older captains that are no longer captaining, and some of their tales from what they saw and what they did. Obviously, not super proud of it, but they had to put food on the table and they had to make a living, and it's unfortunate to see the waste, especially the absolute waste that this trawler was out fishing for shrimp, and the bycatch was it was so alarming to see how much bycatch there was, and a lot of it went overboard.
I worked on a shrimp trawler in the North Sea. I got on board for a 12-hour fishing session, and it was an experience of a lifetime to go out there. It was like a 3-4 hour cruise out there. It was me and my brother. There was the captain and his first mate, and some other American fellow that was on board with us. And yeah, you drag these nets on the bottom. They bring one in at a time. They swing it over the back deck. They open up the bottom of the net, and everything drops out onto the deck, and you're given snow shovels. And you basically you shovel most of, like 80% of what's in that net, you shovel back over the side of the boat. Well, it came up from, hundreds and hundreds of meters down. So it's all bloated and dead and crushed in the bottom of the net anyway. So you're just shoveling it over. It's all tits up, right? None of it's going to swim away. Yeah. And then you got, maybe 2 or 3 tubs of shrimp out of one trawl. If you're lucky. It's just absolutely bizarre, that we destroy so much of this habitat by dragging on the bottom, and all the other critters that come up and get crushed in that net just get us a few shrimp. There's better ways of doing this, right? Like better ways for sure.
100%. Great question, actually. Christina asked, what would be the signs or the symptoms that one might experience of too much exposure to mercury?
Yeah, that's a good question, because mercury poisoning happens over time, but I think it's a general feeling of achiness and fatigue, and a kind of a fuzzy thought process. You're fuzzy in your mind. There was an angler up in northern Ontario. He was eating walleye 3 or 4 times a week, and this was a lake up north of Sault Ste. Marie, and these walleye had a fish consumption advisory. I think it was like 1 meal a month or 1 meal twice a month, no more than that. Well, he was eating 3 or 4 a week, and he had to go to the hospital and was in there for a while getting blood transfusions, and he almost died. He almost died.
Yeah, I think he had kidney failure, if I'm not mistaken, but it affected a lot of his organs. But it was a great article, and if we can find it, Christina, we will definitely post it just as a reminder that as much as we love to enjoy fish, we have to be cautious of how much we are consuming. And unfortunately, based on some of the documentaries that are running around, we have to be more vigilant in how much we're eating, more so now than ever, because of all of the contamination that is being housed in these poor fish. But mercury is definitely an issue. I obviously, no one has to talk about it. Plastics is the number one contaminant that we're finding in most fish, especially in our ocean going species.
Tilapia.
Anyway,
Tilapia, just go for tilapia, and tilapia grown in North America. Tilapia is a filter feeder. They grow it in ponds. This is a closed containment type aquaculture project, so you're not ruining any of the wild fish habitat. And in a well-regulated tilapia grow operation, you're getting fish that's a very neutral flavor. It's flaky. You can pass it off to your friends as walleye, right? It's really cheap and it's really good, man. It does the job. But get the North American stuff.
Speaking of personal experience,
I've made fish chowder, and I use tilapia, and no one would know it wasn't walleye.
100%. Christina, great question. Is too much mercury treatable? Well, here's the terrible thing about mercury. Is it gets absorbed into your bone marrow. As much as it's terrible within your body and all your organs and your blood, it really gets absorbed into your bone marrow. And what happens is when it gets into the bone marrow, it eventually starts to dissipate back into the body. So is it treatable? Not really. It's just one of those things that hopefully it starts to fade away. But we all have mercury in our systems, as I did find out through some of the stuff that goes on at work. But you can go get checked. It's called a K-shell test. And basically it takes an x-ray of your bone marrow, and you can find out how much mercury is in your body. It's not a cheap test to get done, but it's an eye-opening one if in fact your levels are high. But it's mercury is scary stuff. And it's the smallest amounts are quite poisonous and dangerous to the body. But anyway, what's going on in Bluefish Canada news?
Well, we're being inundated with comments and people who are lining us up to advocate for them and give them a voice on the St. Lawrence River. There's a big project being proposed on the Upper St. Lawrence River that's going to potentially destroy a whole bunch of prime muskie breeding spawning habitat. And the Save the River Foundation, my buddy there, John Peach, he's the CEO there in the Upper St. Lawrence River Keeper. We're going to put together some podcasts and a call to action to see if we can get that reversed, because the muskie on the St. Lawrence River, they're in trouble, and it's all has to do with spawning habitat, right? So you keep extracting and destroying spawning habitat for these muskie, and that's a problem. We got another group out on the West Coast. This is really fascinating. They've been developing a modernized weir fishing system. So this is where they would set some nets into the river, and then where the nets come together, they hover a pontoon boat over top of it that has a special sort of lift mechanism in it. And then you can just basically lift the fish up out of the water, out of these nets, and not gill nets, just nets. And then you can examine them for that marker, that fin clip, to show that they're hatchery raised fish that were released into the wild. And then those fish can be harvested, and the ones that aren't wild, they can just be lifted over the net and released on the upstream side of the net so they can carry on with their spawning habitat. Now, these scientists and the Public Fisheries Alliance, and working with some First Nations communities there, are testing this stuff out right now, and it's working out amazingly. So we reported on this a year and a half ago. So they've been in contact with me again and say, Lawrence, we've got some updates for you. You got to follow up. So we're following up with that. We're going to have some biologists, the Public Fishery Alliance, and some First Nations leaders who are working on this. But it all hinges on this selective marked fishery. If we don't mark the hatchery fish going into the ocean, we won't know which ones to selectively harvest when we're taking them out. And that's the key, right? Not to harvest the wild ones, but harvest the hatchery ones.
100%.
And then everyone's happy.
Eric is asking a question, and I'm hoping I'm going to ask it right. How long roughly are the nets out? How long is the net out for? I'm assuming out of the water.
Yeah, so the net is in the water. It's shaped like a V. So the fish come in and they're sort of channeled into the center of the V, the point of the V, and then that's where the pontoon boat is positioned. So and it also, the pontoon boat is especially figured so it can drive the posts into the bottom of the riverbed and hang the nets. So it's just a one-day event. They put the posts out, they put the nets out, they position the boat, they do their harvesting, and then they take it all back in and move on. So there's no trapping, there's no herding or housing of these fish over periods of time. It's really a in and out kind of operation. It's amazing. This is how First Nations people used to fish, right? Before they had boats, before they had anything, they made weirs and they herded the fish. They selectively harvested a few that they wanted. They let the big females, they lifted them over the net, let them go. And then when they had enough to smoke and dry for their winter needs, they stopped fishing. They just stopped fishing and they were good, right? It worked well for thousands of years.
Wow. And weir fishing is something, yes, absolutely. If you go through the archives, it's incredible to see what they used to do. Like, as I said, it's fascinating stuff. But yeah, what you're describing basically is a floating fight net. And that's interesting how that would work. I'd be interested to see, have you got video of that at all?
We'll have some. We'll get some for you for sure. Yeah. Yeah.
Jeremy has a great question, and I get asked this a lot. We are going to definitely do a lot more promotion of some of the stocking of salmon that goes on in all of our tributaries, not just in Lake Ontario, but all of our tributaries. So, Jeremy, yes, the answer is they are going to be doing salmon stocking. How many events are going to be declared this year? I'm not 100% sure, but we are going to spend a lot more time getting down to the grassroots of some of these clubs that are doing some fantastic work when it comes to salmon stocking. And really, we can't do enough of it. But the one underlying thing is, as Lawrence and I have talked about it, Jason and Jim have talked about it as well, is these clubs are aging and we need to influence some youth.
Yeah. Yeah. So important, man. So important. This call to action, you need some young blood in there, man. These guys are getting older and this is not easy work. It's cold water, rain or shine. You got to be there all the time. You got to check on these things, but it's amazing the work they do. My family, we own a little bit of property there on the Credit River in Norval, and it's perfect release habitat. So we're always, I'm always getting calls, Lawrence, we're coming in. I say, yeah, no problem. We get the gate open for them. We got private clubs going in there releasing salmon. We got the Ministry of Natural Resources or whatever they call themselves now. They're going in there. They're releasing fish all in this one spot, right? Like there's the tens of thousands of salmon going into the Credit River right there at that parking lot. And so I'm happy to be part of that. And, it's so cool to see all these people working so freaking hard to do this. Yeah.
Now we're going to have you up at the Toronto Sportsman Show as well. So tell us a little bit of what folks can anticipate when they see you up on stage.
The great outdoor stage, right? That's not the one with the tank. That's the one you see when you first walk in there. And we'll be up on stage. I say me and my guide dog will be up on stage every morning around 10:30, 11:30. So come by, check out the schedule. Come by. We're going to do tips on how to make sure your lake or river, your property there, you maintain good fisheries there. You things you can do as a property owner to improve and sustain the quality of fishing on your lake or river. And, sharing that knowledge with your cottage association, your property owners association, becoming a bit of an advocate, a local champion, right? So what does that involve? So we hit 7 tips, 20 minutes, not even. Stop by and check this out so you'll get the tools you need and feel empowered and we'll back you up. Bluefish Canada, our charity, we'll back you up with all the tools and resources you need to make a good impression with your association and get that going, because you know what? Knowledge is power. And when people don't have knowledge, they do things like, oh my God, don't catch fish. Don't eat those fish. There's no fish in the lake, which is probably wrong. Or someone else will say, man, I catch my limit every Friday and Saturday and a bass, and I take them home. We have a fish fry all weekend. And that's probably wrong because they're harvesting the wrong ones. So, just getting the information out there, educating people so that they can feel comfortable about harvesting some fish and celebrating that with their children, their grandchildren, because that's what life's all about, right?
Well, definitely worth the visit. And if you see Lawrence, make sure you go by and say hello from all of us here at CFN. And as always, Lawrence, your segment, it just flies by. The time absolutely flies. But we wish you well. We hope you have safe travels down to the show. And we look forward to seeing you next Monday.
Come to the exhibit. Come to the Bluefish Canada canopy. You'll see the big blue canopy. Just help yourself we got all sorts of information resources there. Enter your name in the draw and win a Shimano ultralight spinning rod, an Eagle Claw panfish kit. It's quite an elaborate kit. A Ranger boat detailing kit, and up to 25 stewardship kits we're giving out. So stick your email in there, to sign up for the Bluefish News. We don't give those emails away, and win one of these amazing prizes and pick up all the literature you want. We're going to have tons of literature there for you guys to enjoy.
As always, dude, you hit it out of the park. Thanks so much for sharing your time with us.
Thanks, Scotty. Appreciate it, everyone.
All the best, my friend. And just before we bring on Jay Barnucz, here is a word from his sponsor.
The fear of failure is failure itself. The world of science rewards the ones who are willing to try and fail. Because without the courage to embrace failure, ideas remain ideas. But with that courage to fail and to learn, ideas can change the world.
Spike it. Glow.
There he is.
Hey.
Man, I tell you, that was beautiful to see that walleye. Was there any, or was it a hen?
It looked like it was a small male.
Wow.
A small male walleye.
And no milt, eh? No sign of any sperm at all?
No. And so like I was telling you, I think that the it's been so cold, Scotty. So
Yeah.
I think that they're just not quite ripe yet. Almost. Probably this week. Looks like we're gonna get some warmer temps. It's gonna go up to like 17 on Thursday. So, but that's gonna cool down again. So water temps today are in the high 30s, like 38, 30, 37, 38, 39, kind of around there.
Interesting though that these fish are now. Would you consider them like river dwelling? Like they're there all year round, or like?
No, I think a lot of these are coming up. So we're right now we're coming at you live from Delaware, Ontario. So Delaware is just west of London, off Highway 2 and the 402 where they meet.
Yeah.
And these fish are coming up from Lake St. Clair to spawn in the Thames. And so the season here closes. Tomorrow's the last day. So to close Wednesday. And then it's closed until the second Saturday in May for this zone 16.
And it's important to note, obviously, with the closures of seasons and what have you, keep in mind the importance. Again, we can't stress it enough of catch and release. And what Trevor did tonight is a perfect example of how we should be in terms of the stewards of the land. Even though it's an open season till tomorrow, as Jay has just mentioned, these fish are going to spawn. So if you do take one of those fish out, that's one less.
Yeah, I agree. So we the one Trevor caught earlier was a bit larger. I'm pretty sure it was a female, probably about 22, 23 inches. And we let them go. Like these fish right now, they're in spawning mode. Like we're catching them in their spawning waters, and it's early. Like I said, it's a bit early for them right now, but we let them go, man. We've harvested some great walleye this winter up at Quinny and other places, and we got to give these fish a chance to spawn.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Christina's asking an interesting question. Do you get to test a lot of the Berkeley stuff before it goes onto the shelves, like Big Jim does with the Shimano products?
Yeah, I do. Berkeley's got a great program. I've been very fortunate over the past couple of years where I work with. So they actually have pro staff in the U.S. that a pro staff coordinator, Brad, and Brad reaches out to pro staff across North America. And so typically the stuff that I test is usually stuff like not always bass, but walleye, panfish, northern pike, stuff that's coming down the pipeline. They'll send samples to us to test, and then I provide feedback to those developers. And just so everyone knows, like, these things take years to develop. So if it's a new bait, new line, new hooks, from the date that I test it to the date that they actually become product, it could be 2 or 3 years. So they're planning stuff there's stuff that's coming out that I've tested last year that probably won't be out until 2024, 2025.
Wow, incredible.
Yeah.
I've got a spawning question here from Jeanette. She is asking, every spring on the south shore of her lake along the shoreline, the water looks milky. Is this a sign of spawning fish?
It can be. You know, there are some areas that get pretty stirred up from a lot of those fish. And, you know, in the springtime, especially if you have a lake that has any carp, they really stir the bottom up quite a bit, you know, and you'll see that. You know, I see that in our lakes around where we are, especially in Southern Ontario. And you don't always have to see, like, sometimes we'll see the carp actively spawning to stir that water up, but we will see them, you know, you'll see the water become quite turbid. But what you'll find is in the springtime, if it's early in the spring and the water's turbid, it's usually just because of winter. You know, once you get weed growth will start to kind of like catch all that sediment and kind of calm that flow down, you know. And so what we see is, and everyone will see this, a lot of your local lakes are quite turbid early in the spring. And then as the season gets going and the weeds come up, that suspended particulate matter in the water will kind of settle out, and it'll be a little bit more clear water. Even our clear water lakes can be quite dirty in the spring.
100%. Now you're heading down to the Toronto Sports, I should say up to the Toronto Sportsman Show for you.
Yeah.
What you got in store? I know you're going to be all over the place.
Yeah. So I'm doing seminars on Thursday and Saturday. So I'll be on the seminar stage Thursday afternoon, I think at 5:00. And then I'm on the stage at 11 on Saturday. And so I'm just going to be down there helping out. There's a couple of dealers at the show, Pro J's Tackle, and the guys from High Falls Outfitters, which is Tackle Depot Canada. You know, they have a great online website. And since COVID started, like a lot of the retailers, Scotty, have done a great job. Natural Sport, Gagnon's, Fishing World, they've really improved on their online presence. Mm-hmm. And I take full advantage of that. Like, even living where I live in Delhi, you know, I'm an hour to an hour and a half for most of these retailers. And the fact that they have gone online, I've been taking full advantage of those sales, because even with shipping, it's honestly, well, I don't want to talk about gas, but it has been cheaper than the gas to drive there to pick up what I want. You know, I think honestly, the closest large vendor would be Jocelyn's, which is Angling Outfitters in Woodstock, and they're 45 minutes from my house. So, but these dealers have done a great job. But this year, because the Sportsman Show, it just seems like trying to pull it together last minute's hard. A lot of these shows, the dealers that go, they buy their spots, rent their spots months, almost a year in advance. And so I give kudos to the show organizers for trying to pull this off. I'm happy that they're pushing forward. But, you know, there's going to be, I don't think there'll be as many dealers this year, but there's going to be some great information. I'm really happy to see, Lawrence touched on it, the Outdoor Canada stage is going to have a lot of great seminar speakers, as well as on the Fish TV stage where I'll be with Big Jim for the weekend. So, you know, there's going to be some great seminar, and even I love seminars, Scotty. I'll be listening to seminars even when I'm not giving seminars. I'll be there listening for sure. And this year I have an announcement to make, actually, that is, I'm going to make it here. This is a CFN exclusive. Okay. It hasn't been advertised yet. So Pure Fishing Canada, which is Berkeley, Abu Garcia, Pfluger, Penn, they have a new pro staff member this year. This guy.
Yeah, baby. Well done, Trevor.
So Corey Page and Cam Brownson reached out to me, and Trevor had to go through a little bit of just like a job interview. And so Trevor has been signed on as pro staff with Pure Fishing. So he'll be helping me out at the show this year. You might even see him on the tank. We'll see. You never know. So yeah, he's pretty pumped. He's pretty pumped.
Well done, buddy. Good for you, man. Well deserved. I tell you, you are a shadow of your father, and your continued efforts and passion for fishing is contagious. And as I said, dude, anything we could ever do to help further that, we will be there for you. But I think you got this well in hand.
I'm still a shadow.
I cast a big shadow. He's making a fat joke. That's okay.
I knew exactly where he was going with that. Absolutely. But no, that's fantastic, Trevor. You are a spitting image of the old man, and we're just honored to continue to watch you grow and further your passion of fishing. So keep it up, bud.
Yeah, you know what? And like, it's so weird, man. Like, there's still actually in some of the lakes around here, there's still a foot of ice. The shore ice is just starting to let go. But we looked at the weather, and to come fish for walleye in March around here, Scotty, and it's not every year that happens. Like the Thames River has very few dams on it, so the flows can be incredible this time of year. And so it's not every year we can come down and take advantage of this March fishery. So we didn't last year because the water was too high and cold, but in 2020 we did. And so we wanted to come back. But what's great is, and CFN, all the loyal CFNers out there are going to love this. Once the walleye's done, we come back to the Thames and we fish for those big red horse suckers. Yeah. The Thames is a great fishery. As long as you're not picky, you can catch a lot of great, you can just bend a rod here all the time. So, and we're spoiled too, because the Raytrowskis, who were on briefly, they live in Delaware right here outside London. So it's great to come here and sit on the bank with them and, a little scuttlebutt. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Absolutely, dude. Absolutely.
Yeah, man.
One question. It's interesting. Steve mentioned it with the steelhead, the male steelhead that was caught with lady parts. And Jeremy was talking about the tilapia that was being caught in the Great Lakes. It's interesting to see some of this stuff showing up. Perhaps maybe it's always been there and it's just now getting sort of reported because of social media. But what do you make of all of this?
Yeah, I did a little digging for Steve, and I really couldn't come up with anything. There is records of some fish with both male and female parts. So you're going to have ovaries, eggs, and testes. It has been known before. I couldn't find a reference though for it with salmonids, so with salmon and trout, but it's not entirely surprising. And I think you hit it on the head exactly. With social media now, information gets out there. Information's at hand all the time. But sometimes the science isn't always at hand. Scotty, like I share a lot of scientific papers with you. And I'm not a walleye biologist. There's some great walleye biologists. And, I know like George Morgan is a regular viewer of this show up from Nipissing. And, but I have access to that information, but I love it from a personal point. I just love reading about fish and the research, the great research that's going on out there. But, when it comes to some of these biological changes that are happening, and there's thoughts that some of it, honestly, sadly, it's pollution, right? And it's, there's so many chemicals now that are in our wastewater, pharmaceuticals, that are really having an impact on our fisheries, and we're not seeing it. It's not going to probably change the fisheries it's not going to make it worse, but it's definitely changing the biology of some of our fish species. And it's something that it's actually being studied on a regular basis. So it's just something to keep an eye out. Like birth control is one, like birth control pills, so those hormones that are being, extricated through urine into our wastewater, and our filter systems can't take those chemicals out of the water. Our sewage plants are designed to take out bacteria, so that we can have drinking water, right? That's literally what it is. But some of these pharmaceuticals can't extract those, our pharmaceutical can't be extracted from the water easily. And so these are things that, that some of our scientists out there, and not our fish scientists, like our wastewater scientists and our limnologists, they're working on these things, but it's, we're a long ways to go yet, I think.
Amen, brother. Well, listen, as always, our time flies with your segment as it does with the other three. We've got Mark, Shawn, Kyle, and Moose coming on right after you, but we want to wish you all the best. Safe travels to and from the Toronto Sportsman Show. And again, big shout out, congratulations to our buddy Trevor.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. See you guys.
All right, man. I hope to see some of you guys this weekend. If not, we'll see you out there. There's going to be, listen, and I'm going to say this, there's going to be a lot of, because of the lack of shows this year, I know a lot of everyone's local tackle retailers are going to have events this year, in-store events with good sales, good products, good information. And, I don't care what, this is the old wrestling analogy, right? Jim and I are buddies. We wear different colors, but we get off the same bus, right? Amen. So there's going to be some great stuff coming up at local tackle shops this year. Go and get involved and hang out with those shops, and not just the deals, but just go and immerse yourself in the fishing. That's what it's all about, man.
Amen, brother. Couldn't have said it better myself. You take care. Drive safe, you two.
See you guys. We'll see you later. Bye, guys.
All the best. And a last word from our sponsor before we bring on the best folks that we are going to see this period. I can't wait to see these guys. Just one sec.
What is Flash Boost? Shimano designed innovative Flash Boost technology. It keeps flashing, which attracts fish whether in a pause or while retrieving. The mirror plate, which is fixed by a spring inside the body, vibrates with the lure action to generate diffuse reflection. Even if you stop the lure action, the inner plate will move and continue to flash, giving the lure a sense of life and inviting a fish bite. This is Flash Boost.
What a team!
What is that?
Whoa! What a team! Holy smokes, Kyle! Thanks so much for joining us again. Here we are. I want to say we're on the eve of the show. It's still a couple more sleeps away, but it's just around the corner, dude. You must be pumped.
You know what? I was saying to my wife Leanne today, we've been working on it, a lot the last, kind of like Jason said, kind of felt like we had to throw it together kind of quick. And everyone's like, well, you had 2 years to plan. It's not. You got to start from scratch. If we're going to a different building this time and doing stuff. But today was the first time that instead of feeling nervous, I'm like buzzing with excitement. I know that sounds a little cliche, but I'm pumped on what's about to go down this weekend and get it. And it's because I think a lot of it too is about the amount of phone calls we're receiving and messages. We're about to see a lot of good people we haven't seen in a long time. So,
well, speaking of good people, Shawn and Mark stepped up in a huge way last week.
Thank you, guys.
It's great to have those two back again tonight. But yeah, I speak on just behalf of our community, and I know Moose and I have talked about it as well. Right off the bat, I want to thank you and your wife for having the cojones to follow through with this and put this on, because really it is a gathering for all of us, and we take pleasure and pride in your time that you've put forth to put this show together. But I'll tell you, as I said, some great team members here. Shawn and Mark, again, you guys, you stepped up in a huge way last week. Shawn, I owe you one. And Moose was very happy that you remember, because this guy didn't, about the OFC Nation deals. But Kyle, are there any updates that you could pass along to any of us on some stuff that's just breaking or some upcoming news?
Well, you know what? It's kind of like the status quo on what to expect at this. But one thing I kind of want to kind of get in a few details of what to expect there. So a couple weeks ago, Shawn, Mark, and myself, we did an awesome preview show. If you haven't checked that out, go over to our Facebook page. It's pinned at the top. Spend an hour, listen to it in your truck while you're driving to work. It really highlights kind of what to expect. But I really want to kind of stress that this is kind of a hybrid show. It's not your normal tackle swap, and it's not your normal fishing show. We kind of got a bit of both. We kind of got one side that's a show. I was showing Moose the floor plan today. And we got a whole other side of the building that's the tackle swap side, you know, all the used sections, stuff like that, some lure makers in there and all that stuff. So I'm going to go on a limb and I'm going to say it because I'm confident, and what we're going to deliver this weekend is a different level than what we saw at Bowmanville. So we got some huge companies in fishing coming. We have 10 more personal tables than we ever did have in Bowmanville. And it's going to be rocking. And as far as deals, and I know that line sounds like a used car salesman. It's true. Like anyone that's complaining about the fuel prices, you will make that fuel back in savings at the show.
Because, you know, the purchase of a ticket, which is all of $10, which is extremely affordable for anybody, especially if you're bringing your family, you have a chance to win a number of prizes that Mark and Shawn alluded to last week.
Yeah, for sure. So I got the Garmin right here. I don't know if you guys can see it. We're going to give away this bad boy as the door prize. We've had a ton of calls actually this week. Some great people stepping up. We're doing a huge charity raffle for a member in our fishing community, as well as the Women at the Dragon Boat Breast Cancer Festival. And there's huge prizes in there. I'm talking charters. Bushnell donate over $1,000 in binoculars and scopes and stuff like that. You know, Streamside stepped up, Shimano stepped up, Daiwa stepped up, and many more people. All the bait makers did. So we got some really cool stuff in those raffles. I believe Shawn and Mark touched on it last weekend, but Tackle Depot is going to do a mystery box an hour, $100 worth of tackle. They're going to give away every hour, as well as all the vendors. Multiple vendors are doing different giveaways in their booths, you know, just kind of on their own. CSFL's donated an awesome prize for their ladies' night this summer. So Shootout Fishing League stepped up. They're giving away over $1,200. There's just stuff happening everywhere. So take the time, check out the booths, guys. And, you know, I just think it's going to be something like people haven't seen before. This show's going to have a different feel. That's
awesome. Mark, I'm gonna ask you, because you talked about it last week, but Steve is just reminding us about bringing some canned goods, non-perishable foods. Can you tell us a little bit more about what we should probably be bringing?
Absolutely. Okay, guys, for sure, you know, non-perishable canned items, spaghetti sauce, noodles, baby food. There's a lot of people that are in need because of this whole COVID thing, right? And it's going to get you another draw ticket, so that's a bonus right there. And it's also going to get you into a different line. So there's going to be a line for the non-people that aren't bringing a donation. And there's going to be a line with people that are bringing in a donation, and I think your chances of getting in a little bit quicker with the food line. So by all means, you know, it's been a tradition for so long. It's so much food has been raised over the years by when Peter had the show, and then the last time Kyle kind of took it over in Bowmanville there. So let's just keep that tradition going, and let's get some food and help a lot of people that really, really need it right now.
That's awesome. Well said. Shawn, you're going to be running around doing many things, but the way the booths are set up and the floor plan is set up, where do you see a lot of people sort of funneling towards based on what you know?
Well, this is one decision they're going to have to make as soon as they walk in the door. Kyle's got this place laid out amazing. But if you're going to want the tackle swap side, like it's right down the middle. You're going to have to go left, or you're going to have to go right. All the vendors are on the one side and all the tackle swap guys on the other. So it all depends on what you're looking for, what kind of deal you're looking for that day. I believe Kyle is going to post a floor layout later on this week. So if everybody wants to check it out, I believe it's going to be on the Facebook page again. And I know which way I'd be heading.
Which way?
I'd be going left.
Yeah,
I'd be going left.
I'll be heading to the bathroom.
So we talked about this on our preview show, and you know what? Strategically, because this is their strategy to this show. Going left is a smart move because those deals fly quick. But guys, what the retailers are bringing, because keep in mind there hasn't been shows, there hasn't been sales. Peterborough Pro Tackle. JB's, for example, huge with East Hill Outdoors, Mac Attack, Baitcasters, Taco Depot. That's just the retailers. That doesn't include everybody else selling stuff out of their booths, right? The manufacturers. They have unbelievable savings, like buy two, get one free. like it's gonna add up. So like what I'm saying is if you're like hesitant about driving to the show a couple hours, put a couple buddies in the truck, split some gas, get down here, you're gonna make it up, not only just in the people you're gonna see and what you're gonna learn, but in the savings and tackle. Like we talked on at the St. Croix deal. St. Croix alone, the rod deal that Bob and his crew are going to do through those retailers on St. Croix rods, like huge money off last year's models, plus some warranty rods they're going to be selling used out of the factory booth. Like, if you need something, this is the show. And kind of going on to what Jason said too, there's a ton of great local retailers here. Jasper at Pro Jays is coming now. He's going to come from the Sportsman Show too and be here. So like, there's tons of stuff. And like, we keep going over it. There's nothing in the show that's not fishing. It's all fishing. It's 150 vendors. Everybody's selling something fishing.
Awesome. Moose, I know you've been busy, dude, getting ready for the show, getting all the OFC Nation and CFN stickers and what have you. Tell us what our OFC Nation booth's going to look like and some of the things that folks can look forward to.
So our OFC Nation booth is perfectly positioned in the room. So we're not in the way because we're notorious for gathering a large crowd. And every show we've gone to, I've gotten a phone call or an email saying, "Hey man, there's like 40 people at your booth. Can you guys just stay in your booth?" So the cool part is like, I got to see the floor plan, and I was talking with Kyle and looking around the room, and I know what you mean by left, Sean. But looking around the room and how it's laid out, you could go right and then go all the way to the end. So you could go like through the show, through the swap, through the show, through the swap. So I don't think there is a bad way to go. I don't think there's a bad left or a bad right or a right left and a right. I think you're going to be able to flow through it pretty good. But as far as the OFC Nation booth goes, yes, we are planning on blowing it all out. So one item is going to be 50% off. Second item is going to be 50% off. Third item is going to be 50% off. If you buy all three items, you're going to get it for $50. That's it. So it's a savings of you're spending 50 to save 50. You're saving 50 to spend 50. I don't know. Call it what you want, but we're blowing it all out. It all has to go. Reason being is, well, I got a whole bunch of new stuff, a whole bunch of new designs, and a whole bunch of new stuff coming down the pipeline. So our booth giveaway this year is epic. 2 rods, a bunch of tackle, and there's a little bit of a surprise. I'm going to show you right here. You don't know what it is. So if you can figure out what that is, it's big.
I know what it is.
I haven't guessed what that is. No way. I want one of those. Can I just buy one? Can you
Me
just
too.
do one? That's sweet.
They're pretty sweet.
Dude, when can you post a picture of that? When are you gonna? That's amazing.
Yeah, so it's in the works. It's in the works.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
So yeah, there's a whole bunch of stuff, that we're doing with a lot of our partners in crime, people that have supported us over the years. But I'm not here to talk about us. I'm here to talk about the show. And I've had a peek at the floor plan, and I'm telling you, it is going to be a lot of fun. There is going to be so many things to grab. Don't think twice. Just grab it. Grab it.
Awesome. For sure. And I kind of want to set too, like, way we laid this one out, there's not a bad spot in the building. So everyone's like, where's the floor plan? Where's the floor plan? I play a little bit of game. The vendors, I know they're pissed at me. Excuse my language. I don't send it out because you kind of get what you get, because I can't make everybody happy. But there's truly, and I think Moose and Sean and Mark, who have seen it, will agree with me. The way I laid it out with an aisle up the middle as well as aisles everywhere, there's not a bad place in this show. It's going to flow. There's going to be space to walk. It's going to work out good. You're going to have to go from one side building to the other to get what you need. Everybody's going to be seen. Most of the vendors are going to be seen multiple times. And I just can't wait till we put it all together on Saturday afternoon, which, me and the boys there, we have to crunch and get it done quick before the vendors set up. But I'm excited, like probably 10 times more excited than I was to Bowmanville. I think we got a handle on this one, so I'm pretty jacked.
I personally think it's going to be rammed, Kyle, and I'm sure I speak for Mark and Sean and Moose who feel the same. There is a buzz when it comes to this show. It is going to be a calling for all anglers who are jonesing, one, to get ready for spring and are hanging in the hard water. But at the end of the day, we have not been able to go into stores without without issues. We have not been able to gather without issues. This is going to be the first official gathering of the angling community, and I look forward to seeing not only Moose, you, Kyle, and these two buttes above me, Shawn and Mark. And on that, Shawn and Mark, I watched your live. Moose had mentioned that you guys had gone live. And I want to just thank you, both of you, for the shout out to OFC Nation and myself and Moose. Mad respect to both of you.
Thank you very much.
No problem.
And just just a reminder, guys. It's every species. If you're fishing for it in Canada, you're gonna find something at this show for it. Doesn't matter if you're a panfish or muskie, snot rockets, bass, walleye. It's gonna be there. So you should be too.
Snot rockets. What are snot rockets?
Yeah, bring some cash, guys.
Bring
some cash. It's
No.
cash at the door as well. Just the way we've always done it. So we appreciate you guys, working with us. $10 taxes in. You get the raffle ticket as well. 2 tickets with the food, as Mark said and Scotty earlier. But I really want to give a shout out, Scotty, to these 3 guys. All 3 of them have kind of been my team without being my team officially for me to lean on. I've talked to them all, almost daily, thrown ideas past them. They call me more than I call them. Hey, Kyle, how can I help? What can I do? All 3 of them. Guys, I really appreciate what you guys do, not just for me, but for fishing in general. Like, when I mean, like, you 3 are center posts in fishing, as well as you, Scotty, you guys are a huge part of this community. So, honestly, for me and Leanne, we truly appreciate your guys' help getting us, because it's been hard 2 years. I'm not going to lie. There's a point where we didn't know if we were going to fold this up, even if we could go not do it, whatever. And, we couldn't do it without you guys. I really appreciate it.
Our pleasure, buddy.
Shawn,
you're making me blush.
Before we go, speaking of blushing, before we go, we do have there's an event the night before the show, and I'm going to lean on you because you're probably going to open it and close it.
Sean is the official host.
Yes.
We had a little pep talk today. That I said to Mark and Sean, I said, look, guys, you guys can close that place down, but just remember, I need you in the morning.
Amen.
So, but tell them about it. Let's get everybody there. Tell them about it, guys.
Yeah, we're going to have a big party. What's the name of the place again, Kyle?
One-Eyed Jack. So it's right beside the Best
One-Eyed
Western
Jack.
Hotels.
After that night, they're gonna call it One-Eyed Sean's.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, come on down and see us. Have a drink with us at One-Eyed Jack's. We're going to be there around 8:00, and we're going to be leaving there probably around 9 a.m. the next morning because the show starts at 10.
Yeah. I need you at the show at 6, but So.
Yeah, I'll be there, buddy. I can't.
That's awesome.
Scotty, you're gonna be. So you watched that video, and Kyle said to the guys, "If I gave you $1,000, where would you go? What would you buy? How did it start? Was it $500? We had $100 to start.
Yeah, it was 100.
No, we got 100, and Kyle got 1,000.
Yeah, I don't know how that works.
All right, so Scotty, you got $500. Where would you go, and what would you buy?
Right where you're standing, Moose. I'd rip the walls and all the shelves in there apart. You've got more. You got everything I want anyway. In the rafters, on the wall. Yeah, like I'd shop right there. The House of Moose.
Well, you got to shop in the Peterborough Tackle Swap. What direction would you go, right or left? Left is the swap, right is the show.
I'm going to say I'd love to see the swap, so I'm going to go left.
Yeah, I think I'm telling you right now, people, I know left, go right. Some people, you got to go right because like those St. Croix rods and stuff, they're not going to last. So, and there's one particular booth from a very professional angler, I won't say his name, who's very well established in this country that has a full 10x10 full of used stuff.
Wow.
That's right.
Wow.
So there's not a bad spot to go. And let's keep in mind, guys, like Tony Steinfeld's booth, Lightning Series Jigs, that one's huge. Gremlin's Custom Baits, he sells out of a lot of his stuff that, John's tying. Those are right. Peterborough Pro Tackle has the biggest booth in the show, being local. They're bringing some unbelievable stuff. Weapons of Mass Destruction, they got some pretty cool stuff coming too. So those are just a few examples. I can't get on everybody. The Muskie Maniacs, wait till you see their booth. You got some wicked apparel coming. And then HKRS Fishing, one of the nicest booths in the show. So
yeah,
I know left is a good bet, but you know what? Going straight might be the best bet too, because you can go 3 directions. So
That's true. That's true.
My whole body's got goosebumps right now thinking about this show on the weekend.
Well, it's like I wish I said this, if we move into the arena next year, we're gonna be the announcer. We're gonna have people on the PA, like we're calling the hockey game down there, just talking about which way people are going, and look at Scotty, he's over there in this booth, and no, he's over there. Just, I'm telling you, man, everyone's like, why do you do it? It's fun.
Next year, the arena. The year after that, the Sky Dome.
You never know.
You
never know. So,
well, listen, it's this Sunday. If you don't know, March 20th. Ticket. The doors open at 10 a.m. Close at 3 p.m. So get there. Don't delay. Make sure you're early. It's $10. Kids under 12 are free, and bring a non-perishable food item, and hopefully you'll get in the show a little bit quicker. But on behalf of all of us here tonight, Kyle, Shawn, Mark, and Moose, we look forward to seeing you. Again, Kyle, can't thank your family enough for putting on this show and creating the official gathering of basically post-COVID 2022, and we look forward to seeing all of you.
I hope to see everybody there. Come up, say hi to us, please. I always got time to chat fishing. If I'm short with you, don't take it personal. It means I'm probably just getting pulled in 50 different directions, dealing with issues, all that good stuff that shows always bring up. Let's hope there's very few of those, but hey, you know what? It's going to be a full house, so there'll be some stuff going on. So please come say hi, and those of you that are making the trip from far, let us know where you're coming from. I got people that messaged me coming from Timmins, Thunder Bay, Ottawa, every corner of Ontario. Some guys coming from Quebec. Like, I got a guy coming right from Winnipeg who's flying in. Like, there's people come from all over, so it's going to be a good time. Like I said, grab some friends. If you're out of town, come down the night before. Grab a room at the Best Western. Join us for our party. See you at the show in the morning.
Right on. Couldn't have said it better myself. Well, lads, let's have Mercer take us out. I'll see you all there. Drive safe, and I can't wait. I can't wait for Sunday.
Thanks, Scotty. Thanks, guys.
Well, as much as I hate to admit it, I guess we've run out of time. So I've enjoyed it, but I'm going to do something I haven't done since season 1. Turn out the lights. The party's over. They say that all good things must end.